But I saw a clip on Twitter, and I said, you know what? I have to speak on this. So understand when I start talking about this, I'm talking about video games. His statements on video games. I am not talking about Destin as a person. So he's a perfectly fine gentleman. I'm saying the takes on video game, it's consistently back to back to back. Shit that once he says it, I'm like, how don't you know before you say it that you gonna get dragged on social media? Now listen, you shouldn't be, basing your opinions on social media. I'm just saying your takes are so bad that social media is definitely gonna be like, what? And that's a different thing from social media just hating on the individual. It's like, no, you have some of the worst takes ever. And it's like you post something or you'll say something and not think before you even say these things. The other day it was, oh yeah, a valve being delayed leaves a hole in the holiday lineup for Xbox. And it's like, I get it. It's hard for a lot of folks to wrap their head around the fact that Xbox is a lot of things. So Age of Empires and other games that might be getting expansions that are only on PC may not feel like that's an Xbox thing. But it is. It's just Xbox isn't confined to a box. Funny, Xbox out of all of them is the first one to make themselves free of the Waldorf Garden box. Right? Now, Destin Legary works for IGN, and he does an Xbox podcast. He has his own channel also and talks about Xbox a lot. So at this point, how is it that so many people aren't comfortable with this idea yet? It's been almost 10 years. Almost 10 years of Xbox putting their stuff on PC, multiple places. Like, it's been way too long for people to not understand that, yeah, they're going to put out their releases and they're going to spread them out around their own stuff so that their own stuff isn't just stepping on top of each other. And that makes perfect sense. Because I think if Nintendo was dropping a brand new mobile thing, they probably wouldn't drop that even around Echoes of Wisdom or the next hardware, unless it ties directly to the hardware. You know what I mean? But they're likely going to spread it out, even if it's, one of their mobile efforts. Because, everybody's been jumping out of their Waldorf Gardens. But it's kind of like weird to see that so many folk just can't wrap their head around the one who's been doing it better than everybody with smart delivery, doing it quicker than everybody with cloud and everything, like Game Pass. And it's like Xbox is a brand. I'm not even talking about Microsoft. I'm talking about what Microsoft made Xbox into. Xbox is a brand that doesn't just mean console. Can't believe I have to say this, but it's the truth. Xbox doesn't just mean console. We've known this forever. So when it doesn't just mean console can't possibly be the end-all be-all of Xbox. See, Xbox can be on a Fire Stick, on your Samsung TV, could be on your phone, could be on an actual Xbox, and there's going to be even more products rolling out as the years go on where you're going to be able to access your Xbox content. There'll be Fire Stick competitors. There'll be more than Samsung TVs. It'll be LG. It'll be every single brand of TV that you know out there under the sun. Down to the Westinghouses of the world and the Insignias. You know what I mean? Like, all the way up to the Vizios and, again, LGs, and they're all going to have it. And by then, they'll probably have a PlayStation button right there, too. And no, not a Nintendo one, too. Nintendo would never. No, they would never. They would never put out a Mario Kart game on the phone versus putting out a brand new Mario Kart game on their hardware. Oh, wait, that's what they did. But I say all this to say, Nintendo sold 13 million Wii U's. Nintendo has some of the greatest IPs in the history of the medium. Correct. They didn't just say 13 million. Guess we're going to put Mario Odyssey and that Breath of the Wild on Xbox and PlayStation and PC. That probably would have been the move that you would have said they should have done. A lot of people probably said they should have done. I understand. I get why, the fear would make you not want to try again. But here's the thing. Nintendo is worth how much? And Xbox is worth how much? Nintendo sold, wait, 13 million Wii U's? And Xbox is right now, if I had to guess, sitting pretty around 3 times that, right? 13 million. Nah, maybe two and change times that 13 million. Because I think Xbox Series right now is around like 30 something million sold. But this is a Xbox that you got to keep in mind was also stating multiple times, if you just get a PC and buy our games, it's cool with us. Y'all must have thought that they was lying. When they say no need for a console, just get a Fire Stick. Y'all must have thought that they was lying. They're not lying. They're dead serious. And they're a $3 trillion company. And they have multiple avenues of revenue, as I just said, so we don't got to go back to that. Right? They have 500 million active users. That's more than PlayStation and Nintendo combined. And you're saying this.
Your thoughts on Microsoft's financials here, specifically as it pertains to Xbox?
Yeah, so content and services grew 61%, 58 points of help from Activision there. So overall, it's 3 points of growth.
It's not help. It's not help. Next level games, whatever they make, isn't help. It's just Nintendo. Correct? Right? It's not just EPD that's Nintendo. It's Monolith Soft. It's Retro Studios. Right? So this help thing gotta stop. They own them forever. There is no going back. That is Xbox. Activision is a subsidiary of Xbox and Microsoft, however you want to put it. It's all the same bank account. And all the money's going to the same place. They just got work on a whole lot of different blocks. All right? Let me put that in a different way. They have a lot of different establishments. They got Airbnbs, they got motels, and they got hotels. There you go. Right? Let's keep it going.
Hardware is just in the toilet. Basically, I don't think it really makes business sense for Microsoft to be investing in this next generation of hardware. Am I glad that they're doing it? Yeah, I suppose I'm glad, but I don't get why that investment is being made when you can't even sell your current console and you can't give people a reason to buy your current generation of console. Like, clearly, it's not happening for them.
Now, here's the thing. 13 million Wii U's. Just keep that in mind. 13 million Wii U's is what Nintendo sold with the hardware that came before the Nintendo Switch. Also, keep in mind that currently, as we speak, Xbox right now is the console manufacturer with the best announced lineup currently for the present and future. And I know, don't clutch your pearls and be like, oh, but Nintendo, I know Nintendo got new hardware they're about to announce. It's going to be new 3D Mario. That's my favorite IP in game, and I understand that. I understand. But just understand that I'm talking about right now, today, at the time of this recording, nobody else has a better list of games currently announced that you can go and watch trailers of, footage of, and many have release dates. Now, my favorite game that I'm most anticipating to play, of course, is a Metroid Prime 4. But does that make me oblivious to what Xbox got? No, because if I sat here right now and went down the list you probably exhausted of hearing, you tired of hearing the South of Midnight, you tired of hearing the Fable, you tired of hearing the Doom, the Dark Ages, you tired of hearing about Gears of War E-Day, you tired about new goddamn Bethesda games like Indiana Jones and Blades, and you don't want to hear about all these games that are announced. You tired of all of it. You saw the showcase. You saw which is back-to-back games. Then there's Game Pass where they make third-party games feel like first-party games because you ain't spending nothing. They come in day one right into the service. But whatever, right? Look, Xbox right now has the prettiest picture ever painted. Ever. They got all the brushes, all the colors, the best paper. Finally, we was waiting like, yo, Xbox, you need more colors. It can't just be Gears, Forza, Halo. Oh yeah, we got new Halos in development, new Forza Team Playground just expanded even more for Fable. It's a beautiful thing. It's the best picture we've ever had of Xbox, to the point where when people left the showcase, right, and I mean the people who were there, the people who weren't there, the people who watched at home and was like, all right. It felt like we heading into that 360 era, the golden years of Xbox. And I get it, perfect dark. Like, we got a lot of video games coming from Xbox. And yes, some of them will be playable on other hardware. It doesn't take away from Xbox. It just doesn't. Especially when it's like, yeah, Doom, you're going to spend $70 over there. We're going to play it in Game Pass. And then when we do decide to buy it, it's discounted because, well, we're Game Pass Ultimate members. We're in this beautiful ecosystem. And then when I do buy it, I get that version and I get the PC version and inevitably the cloud version. It's just better over here. But again, let's focus on the fact that they shouldn't take a chance. They're worth $3 billion. Nintendo's worth nowhere near that. And you're telling the $3 billion company, you pocket watching the $3 billion, billion, my bad, trillion dollar company, and you pocket watching them? That just doesn't compute. You telling them don't make a box, but you have that box connected to your TV. Who cares about how many they sell when they got more active users than everybody? And we've gone on record, and when I say we, I mean this industry. Nintendo has done it, PlayStation has done it, and Xbox has done it. All the leaders of each of those damn near industries in themselves, those platforms, they all agreed. It ain't about console sales. It's about software and active users. Mostly it's about active users. We need people spending time on our thing more than on anybody else's. That was the statements that they all made. All of them. It's on record. Y'all keep talking about these guys like they in third place. Y'all keep talking about them like they only here to sell hardware. Xbox has become something more. Something bigger. Something, dare I say, greater. And to say, like, right now, after years of you probably going during the Xbox One, they need to get out of this three only, Gears, again, Gears, Forza, Halo. They need to get out of that and do more. Now when they're finally out of it, you get games like Psychonauts, you get games like Starfield, you get games like Hellblade. Now you're getting games like Avowed in February. You got games like Call of Duty. That's yours. Goes right into your service. No need for Vault editions to get into betas, nothing. It's just made better, and it's been made better for everyone because we all get to play together. Nobody got exclusives on no other side. There's none of that no more. And Nintendo will be included in that too soon enough. Like, why shouldn't they make a dedicated box? You're gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it. The other people who made the Xbox One and the Series and every other Xbox sell better than a Wii U. Yeah, like, we're gonna be there. And if Nintendo wouldn't have gone again, they wouldn't have the best-selling hardware of all time because that's where they heading. So they went from the worst with Wii U. I mean, disgustingly ugly. Like, oh my God, Nintendo pulled a Virtual Boy with their main hardware. This is bad. What will they do? Everybody was dooming and glooming them. They was like, listen, we got some in the chamber. We got some shit. Watch this. They had Zelda. They went with that game to E3, showed out. Woo! And then they dropped a unique piece of hardware. And now you have Steam Decks out there, ROG Allies, and all these other devices like it. Here's the thing. You might be saying, oh, yeah, but that's Nintendo. Yeah, that's Nintendo who had an insane slate of IP that can back their hardware if nobody was going to come and help them. So they can go Zelda. They can take Mario Kart and say that game was too good. It's so basically 1-to-1 with the Wii U. We're going to take that and put it here. Boom. 60-something million sold. A whole nother slate of content to make it feel like a whole new game, right? Since they wasn't actually dropping a whole new game. Awesome. Then they hit you with Splatoon, Mario, Odyssey, Xenoblade. They went crazy. Brand new IP like ARMS. They had the slate. They knew what they had. They could have took these things and just put it everywhere and pulled the Sega. And then just been flooding the streets of PlayStation and of Xbox and PC. But they said, nah, hell no, we're going to bet on ourselves. This is why we got the war chest. Now, Microsoft, $3 trillion company, shouldn't bet on themselves. You got Phil Spencer out here smiling and laughing and giggling about handhelds, dedicated handheld Xbox hardware. You want them to stop now? You got Sarah Bond talking about the most giant technical leap with the next hardware. And you asking why they going to do that for? We need movers and shakers in this industry. We need people who gonna bring tablets in. We need people who gonna bring in motion controls. It sounds like I'm saying multiple different people do that. It seems to always be Nintendo, but Microsoft has done a lot with online play, with smart delivery, with all these things that make buying games as a customer just seem worse everywhere else. Once you're in the ecosystem, you're like, oof, why would I buy something over there when I get all of this over here? Or I don't even gotta buy over here. I just gotta have a subscription. You know, like it's a whole beautiful thing. And you telling them to quit now? Come on, Destin. You don't believe that. If you are an Xbox fan, you don't believe that, because the truth is, if they would have stopped, you would have been like, oh my God, they're gonna stop now when they finally got out of the Gears, Halo, Forza Funk. Now they got the actual software and they're gonna quit now. This is what people felt like they were doing when they started putting stuff on other hardware. The funniest thing is, when they bought Bethesda, I literally said, Doom is never gonna be exclusive. It's like taking Mortal Kombat and taking it. That's gonna be more negative than positive. Even if you feel like, oh yeah, but we're getting all the money and eventually they'll come. I'm like, nah, a lot of people just won't. Like, you don't understand how much people are fanboys of hardware than they are the actual IP. It's like WWE fans. Like, they love WWE way more than they love actual pro wrestling. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, they'll love somebody when they're there, and then they leave. They don't follow them anywhere else. They stick with WWE. There's PlayStation guys just like that. There's people who they favorite sports team could suck, but they gonna rock with them because they from that city and they gonna rock with their favorite sports team, so that they don't look like a cornball when it's like, oh no, I ain't only rocking with them when they winning. I ain't only a Knicks fans when they win. I'm a Knicks fan all year round. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's that same thing, and it's heavy in video games. This is why we have console wars, bullshit ass console wars. You know what I'm saying? It's because of that. And just to go back to the point, you would be very upset if you was living in a world where they announced, oh yeah, we just not gonna make another Xbox. The world we actually living in, though, Destin, and this is, again, a positive, and people gonna, oh my God, that's crazy, that's the worst. We're probably living in the world where Xbox is gonna make a dedicated handheld. They're gonna make a dedicated home console that you could buy your Series S basically and your Series X, but one is going to be a handheld, one is going to be a home console. Or maybe they'll hybrid it, because Nintendo did something that really worked. You know? Nintendo done fathered a lot of things in this industry, but the point is this. They're going to try something different with all the different things they have around it, all the different avenues of cloud, of PC. They're going to try a dedicated handheld and a home console. But everybody kind of believes right now in the Xbox fan bases that we're probably heading towards a road where, yeah, they do what you just said, right? They definitely going to do that. But they probably also going to have it be open so that, you know, Asus can make Xbox and LG can make one, or whoever can decide to make one. And they'll have a Xbox Windows, you know, OS in there, and it'll be an Xbox, but it'll just be a third-party one. And I'm like, yeah, if they did that, I don't care. That's good, because then that means they can have super cheap ones. People could get in, right? And then if you get in there, you got Steam and Epic and all that in that one box. That means you got PlayStation games in there too. Come on. And then you could get in, let's say, for $200, because somebody, Asus decided to make a cheap Xbox, but the actual, you know, Xbox hardware made by Microsoft will be obviously like a $500 thing. The handheld will be decently priced too. Like, yeah, you want the dedicated one, like from the actual source. You'll have that. And most Xbox fans will get that because they want the actual Xbox. But there'll be people who are going to settle for things that are cheaper. It's like, yeah, I got Xbox here. And that's already happening because it's all available on PC. So it's really not that scary. But will the media make it scary? Yeah. Will they make it a big deal? Absolutely. Why? Why? It's not scary. It's not a big deal. It's just the evolution of what's already going on. You could build a cheap ass PC right now and say, yeah, I play Xbox game right here in 480p and I'll be good. Like, what? You really do that? It's like, for real. Like, it's cool that you can. Options. I'm never gonna say no to options, you know. And basically, that's what you're asking for. It's for them to take away one of the most crucial options. How many times have we heard third parties say, oh yeah, our game did better on Xbox than it did on PlayStation? Should PlayStation, matter of fact, abandon making the PlayStation 6 because 50% of PlayStation 4 owners decided to stick with PlayStation 4 because PlayStation kept putting their games on PlayStation 4? Should they not make a PlayStation 6? Of course you're going to say, nah, they should. Anybody who loves video games, they want to see, but will that be a PlayStation 6? What's the next Xbox going to be? We all with bated breath waiting for that brand new Super Nintendo Switch announcement. You know, that Switch 2. We waiting. That's a beautiful part of video games. And I know, Destin, you was there. You know what I'm saying? Because you a grown-ass man. So I know you was there. You felt Sega being there. as a console manufacturer, and then you felt it when Sonic Adventures and Adventures 2 was on GameCube and PlayStation 2 and Xbox and all that, and you're like, damn. I know you felt it. Like, you want to feel that again? I personally don't. I'm good with the evolution of gaming. I'm good with, eventually I understand the box isn't going to be necessary anymore because technology outgrew it. You're already seeing the seeds of that with cloud and stuff like that. And while everything isn't perfect, once it is, what will be the need of making a box? You know, and then what you're saying now would make sense. It's like, why is anybody making a box when you can just feel like you're playing natively through the cloud or whatever? Why are we still making boxes? Why do I gotta wait for something to come to plug into the wall in order to bring the games when I can just do that already with PC, with cloud? Like, you get what I'm saying? When that becomes more standardized, what's gonna be the point? I understand that. And I'm not even afraid of that time because I used to buy CDs. I used to buy cassettes, then CDs. You know what I'm saying? And there's some people who bought records, then cassettes, then CDs. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, now they buy nothing. They just got Spotify. You know what I mean? Or they, basically Game Pass. Or they just buy their shit on Apple, which is basically ownership over my music. Like, sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it has become. And that is going to happen with gaming too. But to say, like, yeah, Xbox should just not go again, not try, when they have a insanely endless deep pockets to go and say, yeah, 79 billion or 80 billion. Who knows how many billion they spent on actually, getting Activision, because it took a long time to buy them. I know that was costing them, but they bought them for an insane amount of money that almost no other company would have spent. And it's like, asking now, it's just weird. And I know you're going to see a lot of people probably dragging you for this. And I get why. Because it's like, this is a statement that nobody who is an Xbox fan should make. It's like, why would you even utter these words? It doesn't make sense. It literally doesn't make sense. If it made sense, I would see like the angle of like, nah, I could see why you saying that because they sold. But nah, they didn't sell less than the Xbox original OG. You know what I mean? They ain't sell less than, again, certain Nintendo hardware like 64. This is a weird statement to make. And like, you're genuinely wrong on this. And this is weird. And that's why I feel like you should write out your tweets, read them, and say, all right, let me think of every angle people going to come at this, because it might not make sense. Like, the whole Xbox is going to have a gap in their lineup is not considering Call of Duty. And I know that's what it is. And it is Xbox, 100%. It is. And that's the same thing with Age of Empires, online Elder Scrolls stuff, all that stuff. Like, that's all their stuff. They got expansion packs. They got all this stuff coming out. New stuff for Diablo. That's on Xbox. But it's on other hardware. It don't matter. It's still their stuff. So they let everything breathe. And I was once saying Indiana Jones or Avowed gotta move, one of them. Because once Call of Duty comes out, a lot of gamers are done for the year. I bought Call of Duty, I'm done. Now, granted, this year, a lot of us is going to have that extra, 60, 70, 80, whatever you spend on Call of Duty, and go, what else should I buy this year since I got Call of Duty and Game Pass? You feel me? And that'll probably be Indiana Jones for a lot of, but damn, that's coming right into Game Pass. So then they'll pick a third-party thing out there. You know what I'm saying? They say, yeah, let me buy that. And that's cool. The first-party games have so much meaning on Xbox because of everything that they do. Again, you own it multiple places when you buy it on this side. Like, again, you can't beat smart delivery. I know a lot of people, they could put their head in the sand, but a lot of people aren't. We got to start considering those 500 million. There's mad gamers playing Xbox. Remember when people laughed at Phil Spencer? Like, yeah, we want, what was it? It was 2 billion people playing. He had a crazy number. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, if you spread yourself out enough, it can happen. And they've been doing that. And now they have 5. I don't think any console manufacturer has ever been over 2 or even closer to. I think it's always been around the realm of like 120, 150 active users for the best-selling hardware. I'm talking Switch, PlayStation 2. So now we sitting here with 500 million, and somehow us as gamers, I'm not a journalist, but you're a game journalist, and you should be applying all these winning ways. 500 million, that should be your talking point forever. Until they catch up, that should be your talking point. They're going to say hardware sales, and you say 500 million active users. More people playing this shit. than that shit. Facts are facts. You see what I'm saying? But I guess I'll keep it going just for fun since we were talking about it. But I really am done. I ain't have nothing more to add. And again, this is not like me trying to shit on Destin. I was, scrolling through social media. I saw this clip pop up, and I'm like, that's weird. I ain't even, honestly, this is what I pretty much listen up to, so that's all I wanted to say. But I let it rock a little bit because maybe, Destin will be like, nah, I don't mean it like that. This is what I mean. I don't know. Let's see.
I'm surprised that they're developing new hardware given how poorly the current Xbox has sold for them. Granted, software and services is going up, and that seems to be where their focus is versus new hardware. So I hope that sort of illustrates what I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking that they're focusing less on hardware than ever before.
If I could add to that,
my bad, Paris. If I can add to that really quick. Yo, I should just let it play because he probably gonna, because he mentioned the services and stuff like that, but that 500 mil, we gotta utter that more. The top dog at Microsoft said it out of his own mouth. It can't be a lie. If it's a lie, you gonna get in trouble. Nah. Like for real, why we gotta say it's a lie? People all of a sudden believe PlayStation 2 sold 160 million because this dude walking out the door said 160. Bye. And it's like, yeah, 160 then. Like, and look, I don't want to take it away from you. 160, fine, it is what it is. Switch still gonna pass that. But anyway, yeah. I'm laughing because, oh man, yo, let me let Parrot say what he was gonna say. Hold on.
Focusing less on hardware than ever before.
if I could add to that really quick, I think this also goes back to if you listen to what I can't remember if Phil said this to you, Ryan, when you talked to him in June at the showcase, but they've been talking about looking at where getting the games to where people are actually playing, getting it to those platforms. And I know there's the whole, it's going to PlayStation and all that, but it goes.
Oh, and by the way, I don't want to be corny. This is from, I guess, the latest episode of Unlocked podcast. So, yeah, that's Unlocked. I think that's at IGN Games if you want to go listen to that. Just letting you know. And this is a clip or social media. So, later on, he could have caught himself, thought of what he said, and been like, yeah, everything you said I actually ended up saying in that show, but you ain't watch it, so you made this dumbass video. And listen, if that was the case, my bad. But I'm just saying, Paris is going in his own direction, not in to the thing I was gonna say. I was gonna say, yo, if they focusing less on hardware, why do you got Phil Spencer literally laughing at it? Was with Ryan, matter of fact, right? It was at the IGN Live thing after Xbox Showcase, and he's laughing about the idea of a handheld, and then correcting you and be like, nah, we not doing no cloud handheld. If we gonna do a handheld, it's gonna be native. So a little Series S in your hand. And I'm like, ooh, that's awesome. But you heard it there, so it's like, yeah, they're trying different things. A handheld could potentially get them more Xboxes sold than ever before, especially if you can dock it, and say, yeah, it's like a Series S now. Basically their low-end hardware is a handheld that you can plug into the TV and still have that console-like experience. It's exactly the Xbox, the Series X equivalent, just in handheld form. That to me could be a winning strategy. Because listen, I bought an Xbox Series X and a Series S. This time, I said I'm not going to do that because I got a strong enough PC where I could use that as my, if it's a Series S at the time, because the next Xbox is stronger than, 4070, then yeah, this will be my Series S, and I don't have to get two. But if they do one that's a handheld, that's a different conversation. Because now I might be like, you know what? I kind of want that. Even though I might just, like my Switch, have it docked 99% of the time. Still, cool. It's something different. But yeah, so they're definitely not focusing on hardware. How can you say that? They're literally launching hardware right now. People talking about magical made-up showcases for PlayStation that never happened. Then PlayStation Pro, they've been doing that for like 3 years, and this year is the year, and maybe it is. But the point is, they actually have hardware announced for the fall. Sparkly pretty Series X, more hard drive space or SSD space, Xbox Series S's out there. So they got hardware coming out. Again, this statement just doesn't make sense when they're the only ones with new hardware announced for actual sale this year and beyond. Weird statement to make. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Even beyond that, that's why they're looking at PC. Obviously, there's been an uptick of engagement on PC. That's why they're looking at mobile. They're trying to get it on as many panes of glass as possible. And
yes, sir.
if your own hardware right now is not selling to its expectations, you have to pivot at some point. Clearly, that's what Xbox has been doing right now. They're pivoting and making sure that they're not putting all their eggs in one basket as far as...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not putting all their eggs in one basket. That's the thing, right? That's what I'm talking about. Like, they see he did the more, I guess politically. Hey, listen, I made my hotel reference instead of the block, but you get what I'm saying. All right.
The console goes, but to what you're saying, Destin, I don't think it's time yet for them to give up on console hardware. I think there's still an opportunity there to regrow that market if they can deliver on the content that can support that hardware. Because I just think that's why they're in the jam you're in right now. Over the past few years, they have simply not had first-party content to justify.
All right. See, I'm guessing he's going to go into what I was saying about first party. Like, they never had it to justify to go out and buy the thing. But now they do. It's probably where he was going to go with that because, well, Paris usually makes the smart points out here in these, in the gaming media streets. Let's just say that. But yeah, that was my take on it. It's just basically, there's no world where Xbox should not make hardware because it's almost obvious with the lineup that they got, the legendary IP that they have, and Game Pass becoming more normal, more people getting comfortable, not going and buying Call of Duty. So it's like, yeah, I need to have an Xbox because I'm not gonna buy Call of Duty for $80. I just get it in my subscription. There might even be people who might wait the few months it takes to get Madden in Game Pass because it comes in every year. And they're like, yeah, I get even my Madden through that. I just wait. Like most football players, they ain't gonna wait. They're gonna get it, but still, they be like, they could just get it on Game Pass because it's cool. They got it right there. They'll have look, cloud. Your actual purchase is eventually gonna be playable in the cloud. So then you're gonna have that. It's just gonna be even more incentive. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, you get EA games and Game Pass. There's just a lot of positives to it now, and those positives, while I saw them and I was always painting the picture of the future of Xbox, a lot of people didn't see it. And a lot of people still don't see it. A lot of people still won't make Xbox in their mind number one, even though they just brought in, it was like Microsoft, the parent company, 22, billion in a quarter. Xbox was up by all metrics, and it was like, no, it's only up if you count the Activision. It's like, Jesus Christ, it's Xbox, it's dumb, it's the same thing. The separation shit, it's fine. You could continue to do that, but nobody who's actually in the Xbox ecosystem without a chip on their shoulder to try to hate on it is gonna take that serious. We understand what it is. We understand that those sales equal Xbox. Everybody who goes and buys a PlayStation to play Call of Duty, that's the number one game every goddamn month on the console. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to monthly active users, they're playing Xbox. That's just what it is. I don't make the rules. That's just the facts. It's not about being fanboy. It's not about console war. It is what it is. And hopefully they do the same thing on Nintendo and get a lot of footing on Nintendo hardware. You know what I'm saying? And make that one of the most played games monthly on Nintendo's future hardware. And then, yeah, they eat in properly with all of their eggs in different baskets. Thanks, Paris. Thanks for that one, But anyway, yeah, man, like, it's all good. I just wanted to say this because it's all the time that you see folks, and look, oh man, I don't want to go here, but I am, because I'm not trying to sugarcoat nothing. I'm just being genuinely honest. Sony owns IGN. IGN, is the employer of Destin, and then they go IGN. Always, stirring the pot with some console war-y shit and da. Yeah, I understand all that, and I know people might mention that. I ain't want to really, make that the theme of this thing. I wanted to talk about the actual point of the stuff, like all of that, Xbox tags from the industry, and look at what's happening to Destiny and what Bungie's going through right now, and they made a bigger deal about it, about Tango than they making about that, a game that a studio that they actually play their games. You know what I'm saying? Like, just saying, the truth is the truth. Like, and it's like, yeah, why is that? But again, I don't want to get into all of that. If you want to hear me get into that, I've already gotten into that. You can listen to that on Patreon on the full episodes of the NX podcast. But yeah, that's it basically for this episode. I just wanted to throw this topic in at the end because I just saw this right before I was about to start editing the thing and putting it out. and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna talk about this because this is just a point that needs to be made, and I think more people need to just understand that. Not even understand that. They just need to understand the space that Xbox is occupying within this industry. You've seen the constant headlines, whether positive or negative. Xbox is used to get clicks more than Nintendo and PlayStation. Google even confirmed that in their yearly reports. The conversation around Xbox is just more than the other two. And I'm like, there's shows constantly from the developer directs at the beginning of the year, which I can't wait for the next one because you're going to have stuff like Doom in there and Fable in there and damn State of Decay, South of Midnight, Clockwork Revolution going to be in there. And, Avada's going to be in there because it's going to launch right after. Yeah, like, they do those shows and they do their showcase and then they go into Gamescom. You know what I'm saying? Like, they show up all the time. They'll do their XO shows sometimes. They'll do Tokyo Game Show if they want to sometime. I don't know if they're going to go this year since they raised the prices of the Xbox in Japan. But, yeah, man, like, they've been doing their thing. And for me as a player, it's been nothing but satisfaction, even though it hasn't been a consistent drop of Xbox game studios and Bethesda games like every other month, the whole generation. Like, I understand that. But I've played a lot of their games and enjoyed almost every single one that I played. From Psychonauts to Halo Infinite to Forza Horizon 5 literally being one of my favorite games of all time. Just the series, the Forza Horizon series, is just my favorite series of all time now, one of them. And, to going through, even earlier than that, like Gears of War and Hive Busters and all that, like, they've been putting out good games. It just hasn't been at a steady cadence. And now it's getting steadier and steadier, and you're seeing that happen. Then we're going to have stuff like Towerborn also still dropping this year. Like, it's a lot of games. I'm just sitting here listing off games, but that's the point. Like, they've been really good about making their console feel like a current generation console finally. Like, you got some games and you go, look at this shit. You ain't never seen something look like this. And then you show them Hellblade and like, oh my God, Games like Starfield, super unique, creative, and it's only getting better and it's only going to continue to grow with the DLC they're getting, the vehicles now they're getting. I said it, I'm going back to the game once they get vehicles, but I already put 25 hours into that game. And then just stop to play a whole lot of other shit because there's so many games. And when Microsoft, I mentioned this before I end this, when Microsoft says, oh yeah, we pushing back Avowed for your backlog, I literally said when the Tom Warren statement came out that he was going to talk about what he heard about Avowed being delayed, I said I'm fine with this because the backlog is the craziest it's ever been in my years of playing video games because I have more options now because of Game Pass. There's just so many games that I start and I'm gonna go back to that, and I like, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of video games. Then games that I buy that aren't in Game Pass, like Prince of Persia, that I straight up bought and I still haven't even finished. I'm far in it, but it didn't finish. It's just a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very happy and satisfied as an Xbox customer. I really can't see how anybody who's actually taking advantage of the hardware wouldn't be, or not even the hardware. Let's say the ecosystem, because it's more than that. Eggs, man. Baskets, But anyway, that's it. I'm done. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. Thanks for all my Patreon. Thanks to each and every one of y'all who watches, the excerpts when I put them up on YouTube and all that. I appreciate it. And yeah, man, I meant no disrespect by this. I just wanted to talk about the points that were made. So I hope nobody takes it like that. And yeah, that's it. Until the next one. Peace.